Good evening, everyone. It is Tuesday, April the 2nd, 2019. And today we're going to take a look at Bitcoin and alts. It's been a few days since we've gone through the bull market watch, and what a couple days it's been. Before we jump in, let's take a quick look at our disclaimer. Hey, Dest the Best, good to see you along here. The Crypto Destments. Anyway, this is not financial advice. You can pause the video to read our disclaimer or click on a link in the description down below. Now, let me change scenes to the motion of the hour. And it is amazing to see Bitcoin breaking out. Kind of amazing because we've been waiting for this entire month for this breakout to actually occur. So it's great to have it finally here, blasting off here. Hey, Send Crypto, good to have you along. Let's see now. We've got Old Scott here. We've got Dest, Crypt Investments, and we've got Send Crypto. And today we're going to go through our spreadsheet again, and we're going to grade all of these coins to see what did they do with this Bitcoin action. Because as we're looking at things here right now, we see Bitcoin versus US dollar, we see Lumens versus US dollar, Ethereum versus US dollar, and Litecoin versus US dollar. All of them have blasted off. And yet when we go back and we change this over to Ethereum versus Bitcoin, we can see that Ethereum and Stellar and even Litecoin and many of the other coins took a big step back as Bitcoin was blasting off. None of the coins were expecting it, so they all stood still while Bitcoin was going forward. So it looks like they went down. Now we're going to assess the rest of the coins to see how much damage there was done here. And I think a lot of people might have gotten wrecked with this, because if you've got your stop losses in and this price action happens, you get stopped out and then prices take off. So if you got stopped out on this Litecoin trade, this would be really frustrating to have a really good position, a really good long position. The market stops you out, or worse, you're seeing this top formation, you go short on this because it's finally getting down to levels where you can confirm that it's, you know, time to go short, and wham, you're a short position. You've got to be ready to get out of it right away. It's so powerful how alts will take over soon. I think there's going to be a couple different waves where we'll have Bitcoin and altcoins going up, but there's going to be a time where that'll diverge, and I hope we can really study that and identify that now. We were really good at getting ready for the bottom formations. As they came in, we were identifying them a long time in advance. We could see them way clear in advance, just like landing a big jumbo jetliner. You could line up at the airport way in advance and pick a spot, and away we went. So now we're holding some really nice positions. The next phase is to be watching for those top formations, and especially to be watching for these divergences like we see here. So the main point of this show is to go over a very simple trading plan that anyone can use if you're starting out for free. If you're an experienced trader, you'll recognize this trend trading technique. It's not new or difficult. You can find it in, Edwards and McGee's Technical Analysis. That was written in 1948 or something like that. And this trading plan is written right in that book. So you can find this anywhere, but if you want to get the short version of it, then I recommend that you go over to our website and grab the free chapter from my book where I explain this trading plan and how it works with cryptocurrencies. You also get a copy of this spreadsheet that we're using every day, and you can just sign up for free. Snorkel Plus, hey, good to have you along. Let's jump back into the bull market watch. So you will be able to get that trading plan and you'll understand what we're doing. So the trading plan starts off with identifying the bottom formation. Everybody wants to know where to get in, especially all of 2018 as this downtrend was going along. Now we were able to identify this, but look at how patient you had to be all the way through December, all the way through January, all the way through February, in through March, and we finally had things start to pick up, but there's still lots of room to doubt yourself all the way through March and into April. But don't doubt yourself. This is going to be going way, way higher. Just be patient, take smaller positions, and let them have a wider range for the takeoff. And of course, I could be wrong. This could be the top of the bull market right here in cryptocurrencies. I doubt it, but it really could be. And so what we're looking for all the way along in this show now is top formations and places where the market could turn into a cold fish. A cold fish is where you should be getting out of the market. With the simple trading plan we had, simple. Break of the downtrend line. Okay. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Simple enough. Crossover of the exponential moving average. And there's your trading signal when all of those things line up. Now we have to have an opposite signal for getting out. We have to have break of the trend line, 1, 2, 3 top formation, crossover of the exponential moving average would guarantee our must get out place. We're going to hunt for that must get out place all the way along here. And you'll see I've already got Ardor marked as a hold. Even though it's pulled back like this, it's still above our 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It hasn't given us a confirmation to get out yet. It has to give us all those 3 things. Just like the simple trading plan to get in, the simple trading plan to get out has the same 3 rules upside down. There's variations to it, of course, and that's, you can go over to our website, join our Discord chat. There's a link below the video in the description. Come and join our Discord chat. We can talk more about all of this stuff as the markets are moving along here now. So there's a bit of an extended introduction so that you understand what we're hunting for here now. I don't know what's going on with that market. Basic attention token is a hold. It is above historical levels and consolidating. So there's nothing to do here. We identified this earlier, and we can go back in our spreadsheet and see where we had this bottom formation identified. And then there's nothing to do. I would move my stop loss up to here now. And then there's nothing else to do. That remains a bullish hold market. So that continues to tell us that this part of the study shows bullishness. These are still out of order. I'll fix them one day. Bancor network token really took another beating. This has really taken a few big skewers down and up. It's really been a killer market to have traded. So I do have some, but I didn't have a stop loss put down below the market, and so I still have some. Other than that, you're kind of wrecked on that. So I'll leave that as neutral now after that kick in the stomach for that market. They've really been taking it. So, wow, ABC, I wouldn't have expected it, but straight up it went with Bitcoin. Oh, we already marked it as a hold. Okay, so good thing I grade these things, because sometimes this is neutral now. It's moved up enough, but it has to give me a pattern before I can do anything with it. It was a real fail before. Now, BCN. Got to zoom out on BCN. All right, this is consolidating. It had some volume. Some of that stuff has been soaked up. So I think this will pump, but we'll have to wait and see and watch it more closely. I'll talk more about this kind of breakout pattern in a second as we get up to it. So I'll leave it as neutral for now. Go on to Bitcoin. I don't know. Should that be a hold now? Is that bullish at all? Of course, Bitcoin's really taken off. I go to the 1-year view, and it broke out of our 1, 2, 3 bottom formation beautifully, just as we were calling for it, actually. And it's kind of freaky, but watch this. Isn't that amazing how exact this Fibonacci extension turned out to be? It's just freaky to me sometimes how this technical analysis works. And when you really get comfortable with it and you do these analysis, when did I do that? It was February 22nd when I first grabbed this Fibonacci and stretched it out here to see how this might work out. And I've been watching for this ever since that February 22nd period. And now here we are. So it takes a lot of patience and a lot of positioning, and then take your mind off of it. Take your time off of it. Don't spend your time watching the charts all day long. This is trading incorrectly. When you're trading correctly, your money is working for you. That means you're off doing other things. You're laughing, you're having fun, you're doing stuff. You're not sitting there watching the charts. So the trading system that we do here with the simple trading plan lets you be able to scan the markets in 3 minutes, make your decisions, and go off doing your day. It really shouldn't take that much time. We're looking for longer term moves and not this day trading stuff that soaks up your life and doesn't really, I don't know. I never was successful at day trading, so I can't comment. But I've been very successful at this kind of trading. It's been done very well for me. So BitShares, I also had a very good size position in. No stop losses below the market. And I didn't get killed here. So I still have my position in BitShares. And it looks like it's building now to be heading higher. It really took a beating. At the very same moment that Bitcoin took off, all these markets really took it. But it's consolidating and coming up. And I'm certain that if we were to look at BitShares versus US dollar, it would look a lot stronger than this. So it still stays as a hold. If I zoom out on this, it still stays as a hold. It's remaining above our 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It came down and skewered into there. But because I didn't have stop losses in those areas, I wasn't taken out. I'm still flexible enough and I'm in that trade. So I'm going to leave it marked as a hold, though it might have wrecked a lot of people because of that move. What happened to burst? There's so many coins I haven't looked at yet. Wow. Okay. We'll put this as a fail, but that is the first of the bearish change. I don't want to have any more bearish. I don't want to have these things breaking, but we do have a very clean date now, a very specific point in time to be watching for this spread to widen or the elastic band effect to come into play and that spread to diminish again. All right, this is really taken off beyond what we can do for trading. It's not giving a top formation, but look at those moving averages cross. That's the 1 hour bar. So we got to go under the 12-hour bar. The moving averages haven't crossed yet. So I would say I'm watching for this to top. And there's different ways for us to watch for it to top. But we're going to watch for these 3 things. There are different ways that may be even better than this for sure. But we're going to watch for these 3 simple things so that it takes less time out of our day. And we're going to stay in the market longer. And we'll watch how this plays out over time. But we're going to wait for the break of the uptrend line, 1, 2, 3 top formation. We only have a number 1 point. Well, we do have a tiny little 1, 2, 3 here, and we want to see the moving average crossover. And that means we're going to be waiting till after the top formation is proven and the prices are already coming down the other side before we're getting out. And we'll see that there are times that's really great to have done that. There's times where that was the wrong thing to do. So we'll document that as we go along, because this isn't trading. This is just education. This is something you should be able to take with you and use in all markets everywhere. So this one remains as a hold, even though it did this and probably blackened some people's eyes. It didn't to mine, because I didn't have a stop loss down below it, simply because I've been wrecked by this kind of protective stop loss before in the cryptos. Instead, I have protective stop orders above the markets. Above the markets. If things take off, I am insured that I'm going to get a piece of that. If it blasts up and comes right back down, I'm going to profit. If it blasts down and cracks back up, I'm not going to get wrecked. If it turns around and make a top formation and the moving averages cross over, I'm going to have lots of time to know it's time to get out. So I trade differently with my stops than is recommended. This is such a great chart. We watched this all the way along through February. Consolidate. We called this as the breakout. That was our first buy and hold right here. And then it made a bull flag and we called it, and boom, it went up and made another bull flag. We said, hey, it's making another bull flag and a great big 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Boom, off it went. And then it pulled back a little bit after Bitcoin took off, but still didn't break below its 1, 2, 3 bottom. This is massively bullish over a long period of time. This is a hold on and really enjoy it as it's going up. And no, don't do any work on this. Just hold it. Let it work for you. Decreed. All right, so it's pulled back a little bit. Oh, but it's still looking great. Let's go to the 3-month view. Pull it back. Still looking fantastic. We had it as an alert. I'm going to leave it as an alert, actually. Now let me pull the spreadsheet along. We're getting through these pretty good. Digibyte. It's been a few days, so it's always fun to go into this. Now, Digibyte is crossed over. There's our first cold fish. We're just talking about this, saying that we were going to err on the side of holding until after the top formation when that crosses over. And I actually spoke about this break on this date, whatever the date was, the 16th or 17th of March. If we go back and watch that footage, right at this time I said, geez, you know, this might be a time to get out after this nice move. It's consolidating here. And then I decided not to get out all the way along here. And then prices came back to the crossover to kick me out forcefully. And we'll study how that one goes along afterwards. So that was a fail. Even though it's profitable, slightly profitable, it's kind of a fail. Dogecoin, this is one, if I go to the 5-year view, this is one that I think is going to be crazy. Crazy big. Now, Old Scott asks for me to check Digibyte US dollar. Let's go. I know that in the Bull Market Watch spreadsheet, under the second page, there is a list of different charting services. And over here, we can go to DGB. Okay, Digibyte volume USD. There we go, DGB USD. 1 to 3 bottom formation from a low in December, another low in February, then consolidated and broke higher, come back and retest that, showing strength. A very different looking chart than Digibyte US. Let's go to the 1-day view. So even though this is pulled back and this has given us our exit signal on the 12-hour bar view, I'll let you know that I have Digibyte. And I'm definitely not selling out of my Digibyte. So for it to come back to this kind of formation here again, I don't have my stop losses below the market. This wouldn't get me out. There are times I override these kind of signals, but when I'm trading according to a plan and you're measuring the plan, I'm not trading it. I'm actually just measuring the plan, which is a different thing. And this is really great perspective that Old Scott keeps bringing back to look at the coins versus US dollar. And I'm always going through these scans looking at the coins versus Bitcoin. But Bitcoin, of course, isn't a steady item. It's moving up and down versus US dollar. So it gets to be a kind of a crazy comparison when you're comparing your price against something that's moving. Again, so it's probably a better idea to price everything against US dollar eventually. But then anyway, I'm going to stick with the versus Bitcoin as a steady point of reference for now. We'll continue, certainly in the course and in the alerts package, we're going to spend more time paying attention to the US dollar value and trading these charts, at least reviewing them. Very good. And indeed, we started off this way, comparing the 4 coins versus Bitcoin and looking at the 4 coins versus US dollar. A very different outlook where this is so much stronger that while you see Ethereum US dollar taking off, you look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin, you think, oh, this is weak. It's looking negative. But no, it's not telling the whole story. So it's a good perspective to keep in mind for sure. Now let's continue on with our scan. Dogecoin jumps up into a hold right off this thing here. And it's one of those coins that I think is going to be doing something absolutely crazy. Have you seen the Bitcoin USDS chart on Binance? Someone or a bot pumped it to $11,000. Let's just go and take a look at Binance. BTC. Come on, Alphabet, don't fail me now. USDC. USD. True US dollar. What's going on with this? USDS. Yeah, the chart is completely messed up. I can't make any sense of it. USDS. It can't. I can't make any sense of the chart. It looked wrecked. So let's jump back here. Dogecoin has me thinking it is going to be doing something massive because of this weekly chart. This is the 5-year view. It's taken a long time to build up into this, and I believe it's going to be going an order of magnitude higher. That means it's going to go, I think, from 58, I believe it's going to go to 580. Crazy. And we'll see. So I've got a bit of it. I'm holding on to it for sure. I'll take a look at that USDS again, but the chart was such a crazy chart that I couldn't make any heads or tails of it. So because of the massive spike. So Binance actually is having trouble with their massive spikes. There is a bot, or there is a series of bots there that can do organized spikes like that in their market, because they limit how far you can put your orders up above and below the market. And so if a bot can measure how far they need to buy it up to override everybody, they can be putting their orders way up above the market before anybody else can react to it. So as they are driving these prices to crazy extremes, they're just raking in some craziness in profits. I think it's a manipulation going on there in Binance. It's a weakness in their system because of the limitations they've put in the range that you're allowed to put your orders in. EOS has been a hold for a while, even though it's pulled back here and done this wild thing. I know that if we go and look at EOS US dollar, it looks fantastic. So this is going to remain a hold. And I was looking at EOS US dollar over on Bitfinex. Ethereum Classic. What? This one. really got wrecked. So here's another one that had you been trading traditionally, where you've got your buy order here and you put your stop loss in like a good trader, boom, you just got wrecked. You just lost 20%, 15% on this trade, and now you're standing there and it's going to be taking off without you. And so for my own part, I got wrecked enough times with putting my stop loss in there that I stopped putting my stop loss in. The markets are manipulated. They're too thinly traded. They're too easy to hit these stops. And so I stopped putting stop losses below the market and stopped getting wrecked from things like this. Now I pay attention, and within a day, you know, I can be closing it. It's all right. So Ethereum Classic now goes back to neutral at best. Yeah, see, those wild movements over on Binance are a real problem. So be especially aware on Binance. What are we looking at here? Ethereum, and this is on Poloniex right now, right? Yeah. So even on Poloniex, this took a massive hit down, and now it's looking to crawl back up. So we had it as an alert the other day, and that's just got killed, but I'm going to leave it as an alert now. So if you're new to the channel and you haven't been here before, if you're finding this kind of analysis helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you're new and you haven't subscribed before, be sure to subscribe as well. We're doing this review regularly, not every day now. While I'm running the course and the alerts package, we're focused on that big time, and I'll be doing these less often. But if you are new to the channel, I recommend that you go to our website, IntroToCryptos.ca, and grab the free chapter. Don't wait and do this later. This is the most important time with all this kind of bull market setting up right now. If you don't have this plan in your hands, you're going to get it later, and then you're going to be kicking yourself saying, oh, if only I'd gotten this sooner, what a difference it would have made to my trading. So don't miss out on that free stuff. Go over and get it. It's the kind of stuff I wish I could have learned when I was first starting out. I took the hard way. And it cost me thousands and thousands of dollars and a decade of time, years of lost time that I could have been making fantastic revenues, and I wasn't. So now this, I'm going to move up to a hold. This was an alert before, and we made our 1, 2, 3 bottom. It's broken above it, and it's showing it's holding above. So I'm going to make it a hold, and it'll step back to neutral if it breaks down below these levels. Maybe even a cold fish, but foam. This one goes back to neutral. Game, what happened to that one? Wow, it actually didn't really take much of a beating. It broke out just before, and then it just reset, but it stayed above support and resistance. So that, for me, that turns it into a hold right there. That it stayed above these levels and didn't crack down below is really good. That's awesome. Gas, what are we doing here? Let's zoom out to the 3-month view. It's doing pretty good too. I'm going to leave it as an alert. Where it is, it could be neutral, but I'm going to leave it as an alert. I think it's going to be doing something pretty quick here. GNO is not listed. GNT, Gollum Network Token. Okay, it pulled back pretty nice here too, and it didn't go down below. So hold, it remains. Pretty slick. We got a few of these holds here now. Hunter coin, yes, it remains in a hold position. It didn't take a beating. I'm loving to see that these coins are holding their own here and not collapsing on this move. Really good. A little pullback here, but again, not really collapsing down. So this one is a hold, but just by the skin of its teeth. If it was a little bit less, I would have to take that hold away from it. Now we're going on to library credits, which I'm anticipating is still holding its own. Indeed it is. It moved up just before Bitcoin surged and didn't pull back nearly as much as Bitcoin surged. So I know it. If you were to look at library credits versus US dollar, it would be way stronger. That's phenomenal. So here's another one. This one, I'm going to have to move it back to... I'm going to leave it as a hold. Even though it's pulled back like this, I'm going to leave it as a hold. It hasn't pulled back to switch positions yet. LPT is not in our chart, but remains as a hold. Really close, though. This is one of those first stages of exits when we have such a nice straight trend line and a top formation in a triangle and it breaks below that. Geez, that's hard to hold. So this would, I would have to make, it's almost a cold fish because the moving average hasn't crossed over, but it is so close. I would be putting it on like near fail. Lisk, what are you doing? Okay, you've pulled back pretty good. It didn't make second stage buy order, which is great. Now it's consolidating more. It'll give us an ascending wedge triangle as this unfolds over the next while. I anticipate this will give us an ascending wedge triangle and a very nice clear place to be buying in when it does break above that. So is it still a hold? Yes, because we nailed this so well out of this triangle and this little bottom formation that it's still way above our entry point. So for us, it would still be a hold. Litecoin, I don't know. Should it be a hold? This one was actually a hard one to do, even though in our general thing saying bullishness, yeah, it made a really good top formation here. And I was watching it to be a top. I was expecting it to be a top. It has some room to come back here. However, we have a few of the different stages of the exit in play. We do have the breach of the trend line. We have the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation or top formation break. We don't have the moving average crossover. So if we are going to err on this, we're going to err on the side of the prices have to come down a little bit more to make our moving averages cross over to give us our actual exit. We'll watch that one carefully in example after example, just like we were watching for this downtrend, watching for the 1, 2, 3 bottom, watching for another chance for the 1, 2, 3 bottom, a bigger 1, 2, 3 bottom. You know, as we watch these all unfold, now we'll watch these top formations unfold, and we'll continue to talk about them all the way through. Hannibal Smith. Hey, Doug, great analysis. When you get to the end, could you give your views on Aeon BTC listed on Binance? Sure. Actually, I take interruptions. AIO. And wow, this one really was hard to trade. What a beating some people take on this one. When you're zoomed in too close. When you're zoomed in back far enough, you'd be able to, let me go to the 3-month view. There's a few different times we could have traded to enter this. If you were using the 4-hour bars, then you probably would have seen this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. But even on the 12-hour bars, we have the 1, 2, 3 bottom, we have the moving average crossover, we have the downtrend line break. So our trading signal was right in here, actually. There was one of the trading signals to buy in right there. So then it came back and consolidated against our number 2 point and gave us strength. So we had another chance to be able to buy. And then prices came back. It might have hit our stop loss. If we were profitable and we put our stop just above our entry, this might have beat us up. For sure. Tough market. What's it to do now? It's a massive bottom formation. All of these things with increasing volume coming in here. The moving average is crossed over. Even though it's pulled back a little bit, it's beautiful. It's a great chart. It's one of all, like so many charts right now are making this kind of formation. Then you've got to have your risk control rules and your plans to be setting up a trade. But I imagine many of these trades, if you put in 20 bucks and just sit back on it, give it some time, it's going to more than double, and then probably double again, almost. Really, just insane what kind of position we're in. Insane what kind of lucky position we are all in right now that are watching these cryptocurrencies. Everybody. If you just put 20 bucks into each of these different things, you are having a chance of a lifetime right play out in front of you. Let's continue on the research now. If anybody else has a coin you want me to go over, I'm happy to. This is phenomenal for me, and often you guys will bring up a coin I haven't looked at, and it's a great surprise for me. You may know what I'm probably going to be saying about MadeSafe coin. It's a crazy chart formation. It's a crazy chart formation. I want to take profits from my other leveraged market trades on Poloniex and purchase every bit of MadeSafe coin I can right now. It's hard for me not to sell out of everything I have and buy MadeSafe coin right now. And I don't recommend that you do that because the chart pattern still says neutral, near fail. It hasn't turned around. The project isn't ready to launch. It may be months yet, but I want to buy all of it. Mana really took some pounding here. Really, some people would have got wrecked on this for sure. You're buying it at the 2,000 and it's down to like you're cut your money in half in a day. Like in very short order. So your position sizes when you're first putting on a trade are so important that your stop losses are so important because they protect you against this kind of unexpectable risk. So I don't use the stop losses and I would get wrecked. If I was to be doing this, I would have to be a bag holder now and wait for it. I'm going to move this all the way back to neutral. No, I have to give it a cold fish. What time frame am I on? Okay, no, it just goes back to neutral. Nav coin. All right, we identified this early, so we've got the cushion to be able to handle this without any worries. It stays as a hold. Name coin, the mysterious coin. What did you do? Not much. Nothing. Nobody's really trading it. I don't know. I'm going to leave it as neutral. NXT. I haven't looked at this one. Wrong one. NXT. All right, it's even looking better. It moved when Bitcoin did stuff, but really recovered fast, and some pretty good volume there. So it remains as a hold in our spreadsheet as well. Wasn't expecting that. Now, OMG, I'm expecting is going to be a hold. Even though it's pulled back a little bit, we got into it so early out of this bottom and recognized it. It's more sensitive to the price of Bitcoin movement. We'll have to watch that over a bit of time. It's still a hold for now. Omni, it is holding above these levels. I'm surprised. I don't know what Omni's got going for it, but the chart says something. Some of the investors know more than me, and they're willing to sit and hold that and not let themselves panic and sell out. This is really great that it's staying within this range as well. It is still neutral, but because it's staying inside that range for such a long time, it's getting stronger whichever way it goes. And of course, I think it's going to be going up. Poly, we were calling this as a hold. It's really taken a beating backwards. So if you were holding Poly, this might be neutral, maybe a near fail now. That's a tough one. PPC, what did we do on this one? We said it was an alert, but it's come back to a near fail from where it was. Near fail. Okay, some more bearishness. Ginseng Rathor? Ginseng Rathor? XRP Digibyte, and Doug has made FOMO and it hasn't even started to take off yet. I've had made FOMO for a couple of years. If you've been following my trades on MadeSafe coin, then you're a big bag holder like I am in MadeSafe coin. Still, and I want to buy more, and that would be adding on to a losing trade. So we're going to go over XRP. We did go over Digibyte earlier. So you'll have to zip back on the video on that. And we're definitely going over ZEC. That one's coming up as well. So hang on there, Gansing. I love trying to pronounce foreign names that I've never seen before, and they're spelled in English. Quantum, still a hold. It blasted off out of this great pattern. Sorry about that. And starting to take a step up. It's showing strength from there. So quantum is really, really looking good. Rep was, it's been really volatile for us. We can see all the way along here. It was a hold, then it was a fail, then it was neutral, then it was back to a hold, then it was to an moved back from a hold to an alert, and then now into neutral. So if I go now and jump into rep and see what's actually, okay, it's neutral and it'll be an alert right away. I thought it took more of a beating. Neutral, but almost an alert actually. That looks like this little bit of stuff is done pretty good for it, but the trade volume in this market isn't capturing my attention and my imagination like some of the other markets. So this wouldn't jump up onto my top list right now just by the look of the chart. SBD, another mystery coin, made a top formation, came down. So this one actually, oh, it actually does give us the cold fish. It really does give us a fail on that, a near fail. We had a couple exhaustion candles. This is important now that we have actually a market that's giving us such exhaustion candles and a top formation here and a fail. That's important. We're just going to pay attention to that. That's the 10th, the 11th, the 13th of April, March, all the way through here. Let's pay attention to that in other markets now. Nothing here, but a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation shaping up, still an alert. This one didn't get moved very much, you know, a couple Satoshi. SNT now. Wow, did this ever have a candle to the upside and then a slap down after Bitcoin went? So easy to have been wicked into this one for sure. What to do now? Well, I'm going to leave it as a hold. Even though that did such a nasty thing, it's looking great. Maybe it should only be an alert instead of a hold, but I'll leave it there. Steam, wow, came back and turned into a fail. That came back so much. Would I have been stopped out? No, I still have some. I don't have my stop losses this way. I'm okay to let it have this much room and move around in this kind of chart formation with everything else moving. This wouldn't have shaken me. And I'll bet you if we were to look at a Steam versus US dollar chart, this has probably gone up, not come down. So even though I'm marking it as a fail here, this is not trading. This is just marking out the bullishness and bearishness. Storage took a step back but stayed above these important levels, and the moving average didn't cross over, so it held itself up where Steam didn't. That's pretty key. And that's also Steam dollars that took the beating there too, that both of them turned into fails. Stellar, we were looking at this one earlier where we have Stellar versus US dollar here and we have Stellar versus Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin went up, Stellar went up versus US dollar. But Bitcoin went up so much faster than Stellar that Stellar versus Bitcoin pulled back. And so when we see this here and it's pulled back, yeah, I'm going to leave it as a hold. Pretty sketchy to leave it as a hold. If your stop loss was moved up above your entry point here, you might have been tagged out on this. And that's part of the difficulty of trading for sure, is having that kind of stuff take you out when you're trading well. So you can be a good trader and in a bad market you don't make money. Strat. So you could be getting into trading as a new trader. So this was an alert. I'm going to put it back to neutral. You could get into trading as a new trader. You're trading really well, but you're in a terrible market. And you think you're not very good at trading. Or you could be new to trading and you get into an amazing market. You don't know how to trade, but you're making killing. You're not taking your losses at the right time. You're not taking your profits at the right time. But the markets are moving up so much and so fast that it doesn't matter what kind of mistakes you're making. You can still make profit. And then you think you're a really good trader. And you haven't learned how to take your losses. You haven't learned how to add on to your winners. You haven't learned when to take your profits. So there's a lot of different ways to approach trading. And the thing is that it is a skill that you can learn over time. And it's a skill that you can learn by practicing, by following others. You don't have to make the mistakes to learn the lessons. You can learn them and practice them from other people's mistakes. So this one would have been a difficult trade because I had turned this from an alert into a hold and then it came back. This is why in my trading course, I talk about the preparation for trading more than the entry and exit signals to start off with. I didn't get the preparation for trading until after 10 years of trading. Finally had the right preparation and finally put that stuff in place. So I teach that stuff first in my course, teach you how to deal with exactly this situation, because this happens 6 out of 10 times when you're trading a breakout formation. Prices take off, they come back and hit your stop loss. So if you're not prepared for this in advance and you're not ready for it as you're putting on the trade, this is going to happen. You're going to take some losses. So there is a strategy for that helps protect your butt. And still leaves you there for the good ones. When there's risk to take and make profits, you want to be there. So this one did better because it's held its own and it remains as a hold. Now we have VTC, which I'm expecting to remain as a hold. And it's sketchy, but it is a hold. If this moving average had crossed over, I'd be dumping it officially here, but I'll leave it as a hold for today. Next time we look at it, it may not be. Counterparty surprised me and turned into a hold earlier out of this bottom formation. And even though it's pulled back, I'm going to leave it as a hold because it's sort of staying above this level. Kind of. And some pretty good volume here, so I'm going to leave it as a hold. I think it held its own. It didn't crack. XEM, what did you do? I have some of this, and it did well. In fact, I bet you if we looked at XEM US dollar, it's got to look amazing. And XMR we've had as an alert for a while. It made some strong moves, but it really wasn't happy with this. It really struggled quite a bit. 3-month view, 1-month view, 1-week view. So it was really breaking out and going higher. No top formation. Absolutely plummeted as Bitcoin took off, but it's recovered a little bit. It's not just dying here. So I'm going to leave it as an alert. It could break out and then give us our hold tomorrow. XPM. Okay, it's pulled back but stayed above its breakout levels. So it remains a hold just by the skin of its teeth. It really couldn't be much closer. Ripple, well, it really failed hard. And I know that if we look at Ripple US dollar, it didn't fail hard. Let's go to Ripple. US dollar. Look at that. Broke out of the bottom formation looking strong. Ripple US dollar. Ripple BTC, major drop down. So what do you do if you're holding Ripple and it looks good on US dollar but it's falling in BTC? I have Ripple. I'm not selling it. Probably better to be watching it by Bitcoin. By US dollar. So according to this chart, it remains as a fail, but I'm not selling mine. Let's go on now to ZEC. 1-year view, making a bottom formation. It's had some volatility, but some really nice volume on this. Moving average crossed over on the 1-year charts, on the daily charts. So the moving average is crossed over here, same chart. There is our 12-hour bars looking good. If it was an alert, yeah, okay. I mean, if it wasn't, I was going to make it an alert today. If it's breaking higher than this, this would be turned back into a hold, into something bullish. And ZRX, we have still holding its own. It's still holding its own bullish stance here out of this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, which is really good. I like it. Now, for the moment everyone's been waiting for, to update this spreadsheet now and see where this chart pans out. Where is our bullish bearishness index going to take us? Come on now. Copy this. Well, not as much change as I thought. Green stayed the same. The alerts came back. Neutrals increased. A couple more of the fails increased. But I was expecting a much deeper dip and more bear to come. Now, the next time we do this, I'm expecting this is going to jump back up the other way and it'll be back to more bullish. Very awesome to see. Let's jump into our 4. Whoops, there we go. And see what's going on. This is versus Bitcoin price. This is versus US dollar price. Let's zoom into the 5-minute view of Bitcoin. 5-minute view of Stellar versus US dollar. Litecoin versus US dollar. Ethereum versus US dollar. All of them are all going up from here. The volume is there. The chart pattern is there. The breaking to new highs right there in front of us. As we are going through this stuff, prices are going to be breaking off. Can I do GRIN technical analysis? SSSYYY. And even before I bring up GRIN chart, I can tell you that no, I cannot do technical analysis on GRIN. Why? I know you're asking that. I'll bring it up and I'll show you as soon as I find it. GRIN. Well, I guess I can. Look at that. I can do some technical analysis. There is a double bottom. Prices have come up to make a number 2 point and pulled back to give us a number 3 point. But I would normally not be able to do any technical analysis on this because it's got such a short price chart pattern that I don't have any perspective. Then I can't trade based on my patterns as well. Now I really have to actually do some research. I have to go and read up about the project. I got to go and find out who are the people who are building it, who are the people who are funding it, who are the people who are behind the project. What kind of other projects have they done? What kind of success have they had with projects and working with teams before I'm going to be confident in it? One of the benefits of having charts of something that is a longer term history is that other people can tell me if this project is good, and they're telling me by the chart pattern. And so I can see in the chart pattern for many of the new coins over on Binance, you see this increasing volume. Let's go to Binance. Some of my favorited coins here. Wabi, not the one I wanted. Walton coin. Look at the increase in volume going on here as this is building up out of this bottom formation. This is the kind of chart pattern that earlier was really great. I grabbed some good amount of Walton coin, and as it's taken off, it's wonderful. You don't need, because the fundamental analysis is so bad on GRIN, major supply issues. That's okay. That's no problem. Try to think in a longer term view for that. And so GRIN will tell me, it'll, like a MadeSafe coin, Factum told us when the project had something going on, it told us. We didn't have to do any studies of it. The chart was telling us as this was building up, they were saying something is going on in this. And when the news came out, prices went crazy and continued to go. And everybody else was telling me this, gave me this great bottom formation and a perfect spot to get in. So this is the kind of detail I want to have tell me. So look at what was going on in this long flow, slow, flat, low volume, no news coming out. And then when the news came out, it went ballistic. So look at MadeSafe coin, now down to historical lows. We have these exhaustion candles to the downside. It's not giving us a turnaround and a change in trend yet. But when this project is ready to go, the chart is going to tell me. So it'll be the same thing with Grin. I'll stand back now until it goes through a long period of this. And then when the project does get all those supply issues fixed, it'll show me a bottom formation. It'll show me pre-pump patterns that the market is interested in it and the investors are putting big bucks into it so that they are going to make money. So for me, the chart tells me when people are putting money in. Like, look at these massive bars of buying here, 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 and then they just go and have tea. They're out for dinner. They're not, they're done their job. Now they're off doing other things. They let the money do the work for them. And this money will just, they're going to make phenomenal returns on this. Phenomenal returns, 10 times. This goes back up to here. There's 10 times your money. Insane. I love it. And I'm grateful to have everybody along on this. Fantastic to have so many people following on this. And I hope this has been beneficial to you. I really am looking forward to your success stories. When this all unfolds over the next 6 weeks, 6 months, I want to hear your success stories. I want to hear saying, look, back in March, you were telling me about this coin and I put in $5. Now it's 50. I love those stories. Maybe you've heard that story, but I was at a party one time a couple of years ago when I was doing well in cryptocurrency trading. I was just starting out. I had gone from $15 to $500 or something. It was about at that time in my crypto trading. And I was at a party and I said to a friend of mine, hey, I just turned 50 cents into $5. And he said, awesome, you can buy me a beer. Which is true, like $5, that's pretty much all you can do with it. But he missed the point that I turned 50 cents into $5. I 10 times my money. I didn't miss that point. I took that $5 and I turned it into $25. I took that $25 and I grew that and I just continued on daisy chaining this money together. And now is the time to be doing it big time. I hope that a whole bunch of us really daisy chain these things together. And I hope that we follow all of this and we identify the top formations and we're cashing out at just the right time. That's the success stories I want. What do I think about the KNC and this chart pattern? I think that KNC is going to be something like Binance token. And I think that Bancor Network token is going to be something like Binance token. And KuCoin is going to be something like Binance token. These utility tokens are a business plan that it's already proven itself out. And I think that over the next few years, they're going to mature into something pretty substantial. I think it's going to pull out more than 2017, Hannibal. If you go back to 2017, and I'm going to use BitShares as an example. If we go back to 2017, the bottom formation there actually did take as much time as this bottom formation has taken. But for most of the coins, the bottom formation here from 2016 to 2017 didn't have as deep or significant bottom setup as we have right now. This does, where it's taken such a long time to consolidate. Many of the other coins don't have as deep a bottom as we do right now. We're in such an amazing point in history. It's unbelievable. And if I tell you you won't believe me anyway. So just hold. Now, the thing is, hold. Right now is the time to hold. Your job when you're trading is to decide when you're wrong. When you're wrong, you close that trade. That's your job. When you're right, you put your stop loss above your entry and your job's finished. It's not your job anymore. Your job is to let the market now tell you how correct you are. And so that's what you do to hold your winners and cut your losers. It sounds so easy, but to hold your winners is boring. It's dreadfully no action to your trading. You look at it, go, yeah, it's still profitable, nothing to do. But that's where the money is sitting. Now I'll take a look at VET chart pattern and we'll go look at KNC first here. Okay. Kyber network token. So it's pulled back a little bit. It's taken some volatility, and it's very short term time frame. So when I try to scale out, it keeps messing up the chart. But because it stayed above this support and resistance level here, where our true bottom is, it's doing well enough that it didn't kick me out of this trade. And I wouldn't think of getting out of it now, even with this pullback as it has. That's just normal after this blast off and this consolidation. That's all good. No worries. I'd be holding, and I'd be holding if it dipped back down to here. No worries. I'm good because I looked at it as it was coming out of these February lows and not a worry there. So for me, this is a great chart. I'm good to hold right there. I'm good to buy right there. I've got a wider range for what I'm doing. Now let's go and look at filter by BTC. Get rid of my favorites. Zip back down here. VET. This is another really great chart. It's a great chart, but it's already broken out of the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. So our simple trading plan gives us action sequence right there. Not here. So now this isn't the moment for me to trade this market. If I go to the 12-hour bar, it's not the moment for me to trade this market. It's already past my moment and I wouldn't be able to act on this. I would have to wait. And I'm going to drag this ahead. Drag it ahead and get it out of the way. So there are two main trading plans that we're looking for here with the simple trading plan. We're looking for the downtrend, downtrend, downtrend. 1, 2, 3, bottom formation, consolidation. And as it breaks out above that, that's our buy signal. So we've got our break of the downtrend line. We've got our 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. And likely we have our moving averages crossing over right around this time as well. Once it starts taking off, it's past my entry point. There's nothing for me to do. I can't trade this until it comes up a ways and pulls back halfway. Then I've got a moment here again where I can be considering an entry, but it has to do the pullback and consolidation first, and I'll likely take a Fibonacci of this to be sure that it come back to the 50% level, consolidated, and as it showed strength, then I can add on to that trade. So once it's into this middle ground, I'm sort of neutral. It's taken off already and I can't jump onto it. I don't know what it's going to do until it comes back and gives me a consolidation. So there's a long answer. By looking at that chart, I would have to wait for it to come back, consolidate. If it came back and retested this bottom level, that would give me the spot to consider it. Just because it's moved up already. It really did well when Bitcoin took off. This didn't get shooken. Very good. Hey, Van Frick. Yes, lots of smiling people here, but I'm certain that there's a lot of people who are pretty sore too with these cryptos doing the whipsaw they did. And if you had your stop losses where it might have been prudent, you probably got wrecked in a few of your trades. And that's always a bummer. So that about wraps it up. Hey, Ben, good to have you along. Snow, will it break 5,000 while we're live? Geez, I would hate to be looking at something else while it broke 5,000 while we were live. Favorites, Bitfinex, US dollar. Zoom into the one-day view. There's the 5-minute bars, and we are at 5,001 on Bitfinex. Where's our 1-minute bars? Look at the green candles coming in here. That's a good significant amount of buying and selling. There's some good volume going on here. This is not kids games going on. There's some real serious money moving through here now. Great to be in position ahead of time. Great to be recognizing these 1, 2, 3 bottom formations and setting up way in advance. We were doing this, well, this bull market watch, we started out in September. We went through all the way through October when it was looking so great. Then November was rather disappointing. We got killed a little bit in December as we were hunting for bottom formations on short time frames. That was some fake out breakouts there that really were difficult to trade. Then mid-December, we got some solid bottom formations, some great entries that have turned into some amazing profits, well over 100% trades. Really amazing stuff going on. Now, many of those trades are turning into just crazy profits. Crazy profits. And there's a whole bunch of markets that are just setting up right now out of new bottom formations in April. So the first wave of market took off in December, along with this bottom formation in December for Bitcoin on December 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th. Then it took off. There were many markets that made a bottom formation right there. Many markets that made bottom formations at the beginning of March and started to take off. And a whole range of other markets. I think there's 30 of them we identified on Binance, 30 out of the 150 markets that are right now making bottom formations that are great to be taking off. And those are all the things that we identify in our mega crypto alerts package that's also over on IntroToCryptos.ca. Much more detailed than what we do here in this general overview. A lot more support in the trading as it unfolds as well. Phenomenal to be watching this stuff. So there's against Bitcoin price. This is all against the US dollar. Everything's taking off. Litecoin, Ethereum, Stellar. What a time to be in crypto trading. And I can't wait to be doing this again, but it's going to be a few days. We just started out our course on, yes, join our Discord so you can chat more. But we just started out our course. We rerun it every month, and now the registration is closed. We're jumping into the course and really focusing on making sure that all of the new people in the course, all of the lifetime members can repeat the course. We're all going through it in detail so that we are going to be prepared for catching the tops, for making the most profit out of this we can. We want to be able to take our profits and then daisy chain that money into the next market that is going to be taking off and just keep growing it and growing it. Great to have you guys along. Thanks again. This is phenomenal. So much fun. And I can't wait to hear all of your success stories and all of your profit stories. Leave those in the comments down below. Thanks again and good luck in all of your trading. We will see you in the next live stream.